everyone, and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henrie, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day. I can't thank you enough. And I know I try to say thank you, but sometimes I may forget. But first of all, if you heard last week's podcast on temptation, I will apologize for it being so everywhere. I mean, I was editing and I thought, holy smokes, my mind does jump around a lot. And I mean a lot. And if you haven't heard it, you don't have to. I promise you do not have to go back and listen to last week. It was on temptation and it was, I don't know where my mind was. I really have no idea. Well, obviously, if you did hear it, I was jumping from one thing to the other. I'm hoping that I got my point across on temptation, but I spent a little bit longer than usual editing that one before submitting it to be re- um, be recorded to the radio station and to Buzzsprout and for it to be put out there in the world. Usually it's a very simple thing. A lot of people think, oh, I could never podcast. Yes, you could podcast if this is something you desire. Then it's just about finding a good mic, a good program. I use the simplest, probably computer known to mankind or program. I use GarageBand on my Mac, and it's just easy. You record it, you make up your own music, or you don't have to have music, or you make sounds up, and then you go back and you listen to it and you edit it. And I don't even know. I spent so long on it. Usually, I will spend an hour to edit. But I bet it was over 2 hours. And I would listen to it and I'm like, what am I talking about? And I do realize I do talk very fast and I do speak my mind. And then one thing jumps from the other. And anyway, I just wanted to apologize if some of you heard that, thought, why am I listening to this podcast? But before I submitted it, I still thought, perhaps I should re-record that one. But I didn't. And I thank you for those who did listen and did not send me fan mail on it because, I mentioned fan mail. You can do fan mail now just to let you know. Now you can. On any podcast, there's a little blip up there and it says fan mail and it comes directly to me and nobody else. But anyway, so I hope that it wasn't too confusing, and I hope that I just didn't confuse you even more by expressing my apologies for a wacky. It was a good podcast. It's just that I was just jumping everywhere. I mean, literally, and I don't know. Maybe I need to take some relaxers before. I don't want to be slurring either, though. Something. I don't take any medication, knock on wood. But I don't want to start either. But anyway, thank you again. So I hope, again, it wasn't too confusing. But the bottom line of that podcast was that we are all tempted in our own life. And as usual, we have a mind of our own. And we all know right from wrong. And it is up to us to make that choice. You can blame anyone for making a bad choice. You can blame God. You can blame the president. You can you can blame anyone. I mean, a blame is if you don't do something wrong. I always feel like people are always ready. Well, I did this because of such and such. But anyway, we're smart people, and I know it is tough sometimes when we are tempted in our life. And as usual, we again, can make our own decisions from right and wrong. And that is a choice, and that's what we can make, and no one else can make those choices for us. But of course, let's move on. So with that being said, I just wanted to let you know that I will be taking a couple of weeks from podcasting off. I think that's probably it. I mean, I love doing this. I enjoy it. I do have, now having been on the radio in Atlanta, that and Georgia, it makes a difference because now, I have deadlines. It's just I didn't have. Wait, I thought I retired, but it is good for me to have something to do. But I do enjoy doing this. I love when people, friends, family will call and say, "Oh my gosh, I loved your podcast. Thank you for doing that." Or it's fulfilling. It makes me feel good, and I'm hoping that I have reached some people out there. But with that being said, I'm going to take a couple of weeks from podcasting for the first 2 weeks of August in 2024, because who knows, you may hear this podcast in 2025 and think, oh, this is a really old think. That must be the Texas twang coming out, think. Anyway, I'm going to take these and look, see, there I go. I'm rambling again. Here I go. Okay, let me read this off of my notes. August 2024, and I will return with a fresh and a new outlook on the 22nd of August. And try to focus on one thing when I'm doing my podcast, but I'm not sure that's going to happen, but it doesn't hurt to say it because it would be nice to do that. But anyway, thank you again. I love that you listen to me, and I love that, many people enjoy it. And the other thing is, FYI, I have over 130 podcasts. So I'm going on year 3. And if you have heard them all, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you've heard one, thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully not the only one you've heard was on temptation, but if that's the one you heard, thank you. But I do love recording and sharing my thoughts and my opinions with you, and I'm happy that you tune in to hear me, or just happen to find that one topic that that may help you, hopefully, or help someone or even if I hope I can make you chuckle, a little laugh, that always helps. Or just the comfort of knowing that you are not alone in some certain situation, ever, 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 ever. There's someone somewhere going through something you may be going through at this time, or something you may have gone in the past. But I do welcome you to go and listen to some of my other podcasts if you have not. If you've missed some, and I will try to list them on the description of this podcast. And I don't know if I'll be able to list all of them, but if I can, you'll see some of them on there if possible. And if not, you can go to Apple, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. And please don't forget, again, if you are in the Atlanta, Dallas, Georgia, Metro Atlanta area, you can hear me on WDJY 99.1 FM at 7 a.m. Eastern every Thursday morning on Straight Talk Radio. And please turn the dial and listen to Ticket to Life on the radio. Also, you can hear that on TuneIn app. That's free. And you can hear it on there. And that's pretty easy. You just put in the station you're looking for. And again, that's a WDJY 99.1 FM, 7 a.m. Eastern. The other thing I would like to say is, before I go, I just want to say to all the educators, because by August 22nd, more than likely, I guess here in Texas, most of the schools will be in session. Teachers went back on August 1st. So yeah, definitely. But I want to reach out to the educators, and I hope that all of you had a great summer, a good summer, and good things came your way. And I want to say thank you that you are taking our children for the next 9 months. And perhaps, parents, please be gentle and understanding when they have a problem with your child. Most teachers will have more than 20 kids in their classroom. 20 kids. Unless, of course, in their private school, they usually have smaller kids in the class, but usually that will cost you an arm and a leg. But if you can afford it, awesome. Did you just catch what I said? I said smaller kids. No, they don't have smaller kids. They have a smaller amount of children in the classroom. But anyway, so please be understanding, and always remind them how much you appreciate them for babysitting your children. Oops. I mean, taking care of your children, taking the time to teach your children something that they'll be able to use far into adulthood. Now, you may laugh at the babysitting comments, but many parents seem to love it when their kids are back in school, which I can understand. But a lot of them know, just knowing that their children are in a safe and loving environment and yet being cared for by someone who has devoted their life to teaching our kids. I mean, we don't even know these people and they're teaching our kids. And luckily, we have all been able to get some education in our life and thankful, that we were able to get that education because, there's a lot of countries that still do not have education for their children. Now, they have devoted their life to teaching. Now, some teachers decide, nope, not for me. Because I think a lot of people think it's easy. Oh, they're in a classroom with these kids but it's not. It's not easy. I mean, the majority of my friends are educators and it's crazy. I mean, the stories they tell, the stories that I heard when I was working at the school. So, anyway, they have devoted their life to teaching our children. So, again, could you do it? I don't think I could be in a room with 20 or more kids. Yeah, for a little bit, but not all day. I just couldn't. So, please teach your children. Please teach them to be respectful. We as adults want to be respected, and we have to teach our kids to be respectful. So if we want respect, then we have to be respectful to one another. It's such an important value. It's something that a lot of people are lacking nowadays. I don't know why, but it is so important to be kind. Be kind and respectful, that's all. Okay, I will get off my soapbox now. And some of you don't know what that means, but you can look it up. Anyway, I will say stay safe, and I will see you back on August 22nd. Love you, listeners. Love all of you so much, and I can't thank you again for being here for me, and I hope that you know that I am here for you. If you want to shoot me an email, ticket to life 022@gmail.com, or you can hit the little button at the top of the description of podcast for fan mail. Okay, just realize it doesn't say send fan mail. It says send us a text message. So I'm just trying to confuse all of you a little bit. But anyway, you can do it that way. Shoot me a note. And if you know what, if you don't like a certain podcast, let me know. Let me know why you didn't like it. Don't be hateful, but be honest and let me know why. What did I say? Or hopefully again, when I do podcasts, I know that some people probably feel offended, but I'm sorry. But I speak my mind. And again, these are my thoughts. I'm not a doctor, not a therapist, guru, life coach, whatever. But anyway, again, I love you all, and I will continue to pray for you. And please, please, please go find your blessings. This is Henrie, and thank you for being a part of my life. See you in a few weeks.